The grass at the Keno Sports Complex is exactly 30 millimeters high. You check the measurements again. The sun beats down the Tucson Valley, an unforgiving, dry heat that turns the air into a shimmering haze. You are standing on the edge of the pitch, clutching a digital caliper like it is the most important tool in the world. It is 6:15 a.m. on a Tuesday in May, 2026. The rest of the world is waking up to headlines about the Strait of Hormuz. You are waking up to a calibration error on the irrigation system. That is the deal. You keep the field perfect. You do not check the news until after the crew leaves. You do not worry about the geopolitical gravity of the guest you are hosting. You just worry about the height of the grass. You are Sarah Hanna, and you are currently managing the most complicated training base in the history of the Fédération Internationale de Football Association. The irony is not lost on you. Your facility, a sprawling 300-acre spread in the middle of the Arizona desert, has been designated as the official training home for the Iranian national team, Team Melli. They are supposed to arrive in a few weeks. But the world is currently in the middle of a conflict that makes professional diplomacy look like a child's game. The United States and Iran are locked in a regional war that has paralyzed the globe. The news says the Strait of Hormuz is a minefield. The president has gone on record questioning the wisdom of hosting them at all. But you do not control the warships. You control the irrigation. You control the catering contracts. You control the security logistics for a team that represents a nation your own government is actively fighting. You walk toward the maintenance shed. Your phone vibrates against your hip. It is the 12th email of the morning. Another inquiry from a local news outlet asking for your stance on the moral implications of this assignment. You delete it without opening the attachment. You have 20 meetings this week to finalize the transition of the Keno complex into a secure, FIFA-compliant zone. The local residents are annoyed because the public fields are closed to them during the training block. The fans of FC Tucson are grumbling about losing their home pitch. They see this as an inconvenience. They see it as a loss of community space. They have no idea what it feels like to hold a meeting where you have to balance international tension with the availability of organic fruit for the team's breakfast menu. The dissonance is physical. It sits in your chest like a stone. There is a man named Ali Rezai who lives 2 blocks away from the facility entrance. He is part of the local Persian diaspora. He sent you a letter last week. He told you that for him, the presence of this team is not sports. He said it is impossible to support them because he opposes the regime they carry on their backs. He told you he felt betrayed that his hometown was turning its back on his trauma. You read that letter at your kitchen table until the ink blurred. You do not have an answer for him. There is no manual for this. There is no seminar in professional development that teaches you how to maintain the spirit of sports as a unifier while the person across the street from you thinks you are providing a platform for their enemy. You just keep working. You order the extra security layers. You finalize the hotel accommodations. You treat every request with the same cold, administrative precision. You look out across the pitch toward the fence line. A construction crew is installing temporary high-definition surveillance towers. They look like skeletons against the clear, blue desert sky. It is a strange existence, living in this bubble. Inside these fences, the world is binary. It is about goalposts and tactical formations. It is about nutrition and recovery time. Outside these fences, the world is chaotic. It is about naval blockades, stalled diplomatic channels, and the threat of escalation. You are the architect of the silence in between. You have made a choice to compartmentalize. It is a survival mechanism. If you let yourself think about the geopolitical cost of your daily tasks, you would never get out of bed. If you let yourself feel the weight of the Iranian Football Federation president Mehdi Taj's list of demands, you would resign. He wants security guarantees. He wants respect for the anthem. He wants specific handling of their flag. You have a spreadsheet that tracks every one of those requests as if they were items in a grocery store checkout line. Item 1, flag protocol. Item 2, anthem choreography. Item 3, safe passage from the airport. You check them off. You make sure the team on the ground knows the protocol. You are a bureaucrat of peace in a time of war. It is not noble. It is just the job. You remember the day the news broke that the military strikes began on February 28, 2026. The air in your office changed instantly. The silence was thick. You looked at your assistant, and you both knew the questions were coming. But you didn't stop the grass from growing. You walk back to the center of the pitch. The grass is perfect now. The desert wind whips up a little dust, but it doesn't touch the turf. It is a masterpiece of environmental control. It is a lie, of course. Everything here is a carefully curated facade designed to make the world look like it is functioning normally. When you look at the field, you don't see a football pitch. You see the intersection of global instability and local persistence. You see the effort required to pretend that for 90 minutes, politics doesn't matter. You see the fragility of it all. If the visas don't come through, the field will stay empty. The grass will grow too long. The sprinklers will run on their own clock. The security fences will be dismantled by a different crew. The world will keep on warring, and you will move on to the next project. The real tension isn't the war, it's the contrast. It's the way you can stand on a patch of grass in Tucson, Arizona, and feel the pull of a nation halfway across the world, all because you had a duty to manage a sports facility. The most dangerous thing happening here isn't the political conflict. It's the fear that the system you are building, this little bubble of neutrality, might not be strong enough to withstand the pressure of the reality pressing in from the outside. You check your watch. 6:45 a.m. The coffee in your thermos is cold. You finish your notes. You walk toward your truck. You have another meeting in 30 minutes with the food service vendor to discuss the protein content of the player meals. You don't model the human cost. Nobody asks you to. You just model the logistics. That is the rule of the game you are playing. If you focus on the macro, you will lose the micro. If you lose the micro, you lose your mind. So you stare at the blades of grass. You confirm the heights are correct. You get in your truck, and then you drive out of the gate. You look back once. The complex is silent, waiting for players who may never come, representing a country the world wants to ignore, being hosted by a city that is just trying to do its job. It is a surreal monument to the human desire to keep playing, even when the world outside is breaking down. It is the only way you know how to be. You shift the truck into gear. The dust settles behind you as you pull onto the highway. The radio is playing a pop song, and for a few miles, you don't think about the Middle East. You don't think about the president. You don't think about the visa applications pending in a dark office in Washington. You think about the irrigation schedule for tomorrow morning. You think about the extra security guards you need to hire. You think about the simple, brutal geometry of the world you've constructed. If you want to know how the machines are built, you look for the people who are too busy measuring the grass to care about the war. That is where the power is. That is where the truth is kept, buried under layers of logistics and schedules. You are not a hero. You are just a professional. And in a world that is falling apart, that is the most radical thing you can be.